Okay, Queen. That was an aggressive Blair Witch.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Okay.
What are your feelings?
So the last 10 minutes of it are really intense and really scary, like genuinely scary.
Yeah.
And definitely, there was a lot of tension in those last 10, 15 minutes or so. Up until that point, though, like it was a lot like the original. Like they were doing a lot of stuff that the original did, but not as well, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. They added in this whole concept of time being manipulated.
Right.
So it was constantly dark or nighttime after, like halfway through?
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that was a mistake was because in the first movie, when it was daylight, they were moving and you were hopeful that they were going to get out. You shared their hope. Yeah. And when night fell, you shared their despair.
That's a good point.
And I didn't get that from this movie, so I didn't feel like I was like on board with them. I wasn't I wasn't feeling the same feeling of hopelessness that I would have felt had they had followed that formula. Because they followed a lot of others. I mean, you should have just kept that one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why, I feel like this Blair Witch was more aggressive. Like, she had, they said that nobody had gone into those woods for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so now she's real pissed. Because
come to visit
her been lonely. Because it's like, okay, not only, is everything being manipulated, like they walk in a circle, but then also, the sticks and stones happen very quickly and to a grand scale. Also, it's constantly night, and once it becomes night, then shit hits fans.
It seems, but it seems like they got to that point and they were like, oh, fuck, we forgot. There's all this other stuff that we got to do still. Mm-hmm. And they spent too much time in the setup, so to speak. Yeah. And then they were like, oh, we got to do this and this and this and this. And it was just like, okay.
Well, would you consider that a slow burn or just mismanaged time?
Mismanaged time. Mm-hmm. A slow burn... Okay, I felt the slow burn in the original. For example, another example is... And I'm not saying that I was looking for a remake, but a lot of what they did was. In the original, the tensions were really, really high, and they started turning on each other. A lot. And that really helped build tension. That's a slow burn to me.
Yeah, and this one, they just kind of turned on the freak. Like that weird guy. The Darknet 666.
Oh yeah,
because he was because of all the shit they were pulling.
I liked the idea of that. That was original to have somebody be their guide and fuck with them and whatever.
Right.
But, it was all very abrupt.
Yeah,
that's a good word. Abrupt.
Although I will have to say that line that Darknet 666 when he says nobody cares about these woods, and he's like, nobody that's living.
Yeah.
And then they start laughing about it. It makes me think of The Haunting in the night.
In the dark.
In the dark.
I kind of liked the idea, though, that, the idea of, the time being manipulated
and the twist at the end.
Their experiences were different than, their time in the woods was different than these other people's time.
So they did bring something new.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I just wish that they had, kind of spent more time on that rather than I don't know.
Well, the thing is I agree with that because I when things started going down, I loved the sound design.
See, I thought that was a little
that
the whole unwrapping the bandage and no,
I'm talking the tree noises, the voices, all that stuff. That was really creepy. It was done really well, and in the house. And I don't know, it was really good sound. It's worth it, I think, to see in the theater because of the sound.
Yeah.
But what do we think about actually seeing the witch?
Well, I don't know. It's
kind of seeing the witch.
Kind of. It scared me at one point. I think I jumped.
Yeah, you jumped and turned. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they see her out in the woods.
Yeah.
That was interesting, but I wish they would have just left it at that.
Right.
I wish I didn't see any more.
Right. But they didn't show a lot.
No, they showed a few clips of the witch, but they were really abrupt and the camera was moving. But they did that a few times. I wish they had just stuck to doing it the one time.
And I do like that they told the story and they brought us back to the Blair Witch story and then they like expounded on it. Like they added to the mythology. I like that. Like with her being hung high from a tree and the stones attached to her. Which explains the way she looks later.
You have a guest.
What? Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. Everybody get on the vlog.
Photo bomb! We're reviewing.
These people came and saw Princess Bride, and this is a horror vlog. Well, there you go. So it's like a fantasy
Big fat
evening.
group of people, like 3 different movies.
Yes. Say hi. See, how are you? Good.
That was the entire Keppel clan.
Yes, it was.
Hello to all of you again.
Yes, it was.
Now you gotta make sure you see the video.
Yes. Yes.
So, I don't know, I think I would have been happy if they just shown her the one time.
Like from far away, like the first little thing you saw. Yeah.
The thing that made me jump.
Yeah, and I was much more terrified. Like once she was going down in the house, that you could hear her but not see her.
Yeah, that was good.
That was cool.
That was good.
So, what will you grade this film? Like, how many out of 5 stick figures? Or stone piles? Or infected feet?
In fact, that was another thing.
That was gross.
Like,
we don't need body horror.
But like, we didn't like. They set up this thing with the foot, and then.
But then what happened? Like something traveled up.
Oh, I know what it was. It was like a weird leech because she talked about leeches.
Oh.
And that's what she pulled out of her.
That
It had
makes
like
sense.
gone up her leg.
It's like feeding on your fear thing.
I guess.
Because she was afraid of leeches and she got a really good pedicure.
Yeah, they made sure to like drop those. She just got a pedicure. She mentioned leeches.
Okay, now that makes sense. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, so like for the first hour and a half, I would give it like 2. I know I didn't really care much for it, but the last like 10 minutes, I would give it like a 4 out of 5, just because I didn't want to see so much of the weotch. That was kind of the cool thing about the first one, is that you didn't see anything.
Right.
And I do think that this was like overly produced. The charm of the first one was that it was like literally the 3 of them with cameras, and then the production team. It seemed to me like the production team were really out in the woods and just making noise and actually scaring the holy hell out of them.
Yeah.
This one seemed a little. It was like House of Wax meets Blair Witch.
Yeah, and what I loved about the first one too was that like there was so much improv done, and this was just too much
Scripted, for sure.
because there was some dialogue where you're like,
And it was like, okay, I get
Really,
it.
Queen?
You're the jerk. You're the sweet girl.
exactly,
You're the loner.
exactly, yeah.
Okay, what would you rate it?
Well, okay, I would say like halfway in, I would have given it like 3 stick figures. But because of the last 20 minutes for me, like once it went to nightfall and everything, and the second batch of like stick shit happened, like when the stuff really started to go south, that pulled it up to like a 4.5 stick figures for me.
We can do halves?
Yeah, you can do halves. Because sometimes you need a half. 2 or 3?
I didn't.
Oh, first half was 2. Second half was 4. Okay.
So average, I guess that makes it 3.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. My first movie review with Jason/Fanny.
Hi!
And
Of the Blair Witch.
Ooh.
Sticks.
Stones.
Broken bones.
Pedicures.
Bad attitudes. Racism.
Small holes.
Small holes.
She had to crawl through.
Ooh. She got all up
with
in
a
that
witch
hole.
on her backside. All right, guys. Stay tuned to more shenanigans in October.
Bye.
I'm hoping to go to this one's house and do a seance/Ouija board conjuring.
Don't tell my roommate, she'll kill me.
We won't tell his roommate because she's...
We'll let her watch the video after the fact.
Yes!